Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric the Silva. He's always my co-host, Jose Romero.
What up? Happy Spiderman Day to everybody, and to you, Eric, who along with many people, are highly anticipating the viewership of said film, Spider-Man No Way Home. Very excited. I did get the chance to see it a few hours ago, about 3 or 4 hours ago. So
spoiler-free.
I will be doing completely spoiler-free discussion, which will be extremely difficult to dance around some of the stuff. So I'll be very careful what I say here. I very will. So I'm going to be very mindful.
Between those raindrops.
I'm going to be very mindful what I say. And yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll do a spoiler down the road, obviously. This movie, there's so much to talk about. It really is. It kind of sucks you can't dive in right now.
And I did not watch the movie. I'm going to watch it a little bit later on with my kids, but I am going to watch The Witcher on Netflix. So, hey, I still get an out.
I'll be doing Witcher, probably tomorrow. But yeah.
Probably on Sunday. You're going to do a lot of Spider-Man. Yeah. And on Sunday, like, I guess I'll watch The Witcher.
All right, fine. What else is on? I do.
Bougie nerd.
I do got The Matrix coming up. I had a chance to go today, but I couldn't see it over Spider-Man. I'm like, who are we kidding? So yeah. So if I don't watch it on Monday, still a few days early, I'll put a review up on the channel. So look out for it on Monday in the evening. So I'll have that up. Fingers crossed on that one.
Guys, check it out, man. We got so much nerd stuff.
Right, we're a lot of nerd stuff. So
some exclusive nerd content.
But let's, you know what? Let's just dive in. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's start with what we should start with. And that's, of course, Spider-Man No Way Home. So, you want to know my thoughts overall?
Dude, I am like, okay, so don't reveal, obviously, but like, give us the overall.
Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on the film, right? So I'll say this because a friend texted me before that he was annoyed. He kept seeing these reviews of how it was the best comic book movie of all time, and here we go again. The same thing Shang-Chi got in some websites. I have to agree, this was the best superhero movie I've seen this month for sure. But I was just far. No, just kidding. It was the best superhero movie this year. How's that? How about that? That's much better.
That's a pretty good.
No, I really enjoyed this film. It's really good. It's so much fun. There's a lot there to unpack. I can't unpack it. And for the true Spider-Man fans out there, and Eric, you're one of them. I think you're gonna love it. I really do. I think I think a lot of people are gonna love it. Like, I didn't love it. I thought it was really cool. Really, I think it's a tier 2 movie. Better, and we've seen better in Shang-Chi. And because this third act is fantastic.
Oh, that's
third act
good
is fantastic. Yeah, this did what Shang-Chi couldn't do. Although Shang-Chi beginning is probably better than this beginning, if that's fair. But I'd rather see a better ending than a great beginning. Right? I think we can all agree on that. Sure. So it ended really good. A lot of emotion in the last half of that film. A lot of things happen, which is very cool. A lot of fan service, and I'll leave it at that, which really worked. Some small issues here and there. A couple of things that just not. I mean,
it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
But
but these things are very small. But there's some things that are like, okay, whatever, fine, and okay, fine, whatever. But the surprises are going to be there. If I'll leave it at that. There's surprises that are going to be in this film. I think people were cheering like crazy in the theater I was at. A lot of nerds there, obviously, first ones to see it. So very fun, man. It's fun. It's entertaining. It might be
But you said it was a tier 2, not a tier 1.
I don't know if it's tier 1. I want to see it again. I don't want to do a knee jerk. I'll be prison in the moment, right? Tier 1 is a very small tier as far as Marvel, right? I mean, this is not, Winter Soldier. It's not.
Right.
It's not, Guardians, for example. Those tier 1s. Thor Ragnarok's a tier 1. Infinity War, of course. It's not that, but it's close. I think it's better than the other two Spider-Mans, which for you says a lot, but you like those movies more than I did, to be fair.
I did like the book, but if you can acknowledge that in your own personal hierarchy, as good as those movies are, even though not great, this one is better than that.
Yeah, slightly better than that. Yeah. And
right, that gets me super hyped up, because that means
I'm saying
this might end up being a tier 1 for me.
Maybe a tier 1 for me, maybe. I think it is. I guess if you're a huge Spider-Man fan, it's gonna look at this movie differently than a casual fan will probably.
So
The
are you
fans are gonna love
saying
it. Don't get me wrong, the fans are gonna be eating this up.
are you saying that the bigger the Spider-Man fan you are, which means the more you get about the comic book references or even the movie history reference,
Yes.
the more of a fan you're gonna appreciate this movie?
Correct. Yes, you're gonna get
Nice.
more out of it than the casual fan or maybe the younger fan who may not be as familiar with the lore of this whether in comics or in the films. So, and we know, and we'll talk about in a second, about some of the stuff that, like the villains, we'll talk about that, but stuff that you're familiar with that, I know those characters, right? Clearly, like you've
Right.
never seen, this is not a spoiler, Doc Ock, you're not going to get as much out of it as someone who, obviously, we seen them when we were at a much younger age. You're going to get a lot more out of it, obviously. So for you and other people, it's going to be even better than the fan who might not be as familiar with it, no doubt about it. A lot of, like I said, those. I won't mention that, man. I try to take care of it.
the
Go ahead.
villains? How about the villains?
The villains were interesting. The villains were, I say, Doc Ock was really cool, right? He was great.
Nice.
Willem Dafoe's awesome. I love Willem Dafoe. He's so good as this role, and I want something I'm really dying to say, but
Does he come off as even better this time around?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because there's
Right.
something that happens that why couldn't I do that in the first film? And when that happens, you know what I'm talking about.
Right,
I kind of want to say, but because it's not a spoiler, but I don't want to ruin any piece of the film for that much. But
Is Jamie Foxx redeemed as a villain? Like, did they make up for how bad Amazing Spider-Man 2 was?
He's better than he wasn't Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, but
Amazing
he
Spider-Man
was
2.
kind of an afterthought for the most. Him, and this is not spoiler. We know this villain's in the. We've seen the trailers. We know who's
Right,
in.
it's all
Right.
true. We know that Sandman is in it. We know the Lizard is in it. We know
exactly.
Electro and
Yeah.
Green Goblin and
this
Doc
is not.
Ock.
This is not. We're not breaking news here. The Sandman, Electro, and Lizard, they get shortchanged in terms of a lot, which I get. I'm not knocking them away for that because, dude, this 5 minutes. I mean, you can't give time to everybody. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a much bigger
it's a lot.
focus on Doc Ock, which is deservedly so. He was the best
Sure.
villain anyway, right? We can admit that in all the Spider-Man movies.
I think it's a tie between him and Green
It's
Goblin.
fine. It's a fair
Both
argument.
of them
And
are-
Green Goblin, yeah, again, if
Yeah.
he's the second best or first, whatever. They're the ones that get most of the meat to chew on. Jamie Foxx gets third,
Sure.
but he's fine. I mean, he's okay. It's not a big deal.
But does he come off better than when they made him
no,
like
yeah, he does.
a human nightmare?
It's like Jamie Foxx playing Jamie Foxx, which is better than him playing some goofy nerd doofus, some scientist. That didn't work. So he's playing himself. He's more confident.
What I call
Yeah,
Joe
this is
Schumacher
worse than
character.
George Schumacher. So it's better from that sense, but he doesn't. They don't do a lot.
Okay.
And again, not a knock. It's just it is
Okay.
what it is. Even the third act, there's just so much. There's a lot going on. Something's got to give, right? Something's got to give.
Sure.
This isn't Endgame. This isn't a 5
Something's
hour,
gotta give.
3 hour movie. It's not gonna happen. So from that perspective, they were cool. I like them. And like I said, if you're a fan of Green Goblin,
Right.
I think he had the park. I thought he was really good. Oh man, really cool. Yeah, I think
Nice.
he might have the most
Nice.
the most to chew on with him, to be honest with you, and him and Doc Ock, but even more so Green Goblin. Doctor Strange was fine.
Nice.
It was not a big deal, and yeah, there's so much. There's just a lot to unravel about that multiverse. I can't get into it with you, but I wouldn't say anything about that. I'm really trying to tread carefully about what I say here, but it's 2:15. It's not a long movie. It starts in 15 minutes. As far as screen time, 15 minutes of credits. They don't count. So 2:15. So and it moves pretty fast.
Okay.
I said the first 2 acts are okay. It was cool. I like some of the stuff that's going on. The humor is there. What else is new? But sometimes I don't know. Marvel just doesn't know how to balance the humor and some of the hard-hitting moments. Sometimes they get something like trying to get to emotional beat, and then it's a little marinate. Joke. Levity. It's like, yeah.
So
it's like
they
sometimes
they
kind
undercut themselves very
and
fast.
you know what I'm talking about. They do that a lot. So let's take it back. But that's what they do. I'll say there's one thing that generally surprised me. One thing. I mean that I didn't know what was going to happen. This is more plot point than Professor X shows up. No, that nonsense, which was nonsense. But
Right.
something that I didn't think they were going to go all the way, and it made so much sense, particularly understanding the character of Spider-Man himself. And
Nice.
yes, and I'll stop saying more than that. But
Okay.
but yeah, look, I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked it, man. I mean, I'm gonna see it again just to
And-
maybe the second time I see it's better or worse. But right now, 8.5 to 9, to be honest with you. It's a pretty high score for me. Maybe a 9. Yeah, that's a
That's a pretty high score.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Pretty
not a
high
10. It's
score.
not
For
perfect.
you, yeah,
That's asking
absolutely.
too much. I was still,
Absolutely.
but it's it's really good. You're gonna love it. You might say
I
9
will
out
ask
of
you
10.
this,
I
and
don't know about a 10, but you might be close to that range. I'm
maybe
thinking.
I'll give it 9.5. Who knows? I will ask this question, and you tell me if this is too spoilery question. How many after credit scenes, and were they worth
2 after
it?
credit scenes. The last
Okay.
one, and you know what we talked about off camera. Is that a spoiler if I say what it is? What do you think?
I think it might be, but you just take it
It's after
as
credit scene.
an
I'll leave
after
that one
credits.
as it is. It's something different. We've seen once in Marvel credit cinematic history, so I'll leave it at that. The first one,
Cool.
when this started showing, I was like, yes, exactly what I want to see. And then it ends up being talk about getting shortchanged. And I was really disappointed about what happened in that end credit scene. And I don't want to say why
Okay.
because I don't want to give anything away.
Okay.
But at first, it was like,
Okay.
stand up and cheer to, really? And okay. So, because it really, I won't say anything because it's in some of my pick. You might even pick up. But I was
So you
disappointed.
feel the first one's shortchanged,
Yeah,
but
second one's
the
worth it. Yeah,
second one
second
is
one's really
worth it.
cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, definitely. The first,
Cool.
yeah, I wish I could talk about the first one. I can't wait to see it because that one it leads to so much down the road that I
Right.
want to talk about it. But
Right.
yeah, I was let
All right.
down by
Okay.
how
Fair.
that scene ended up. So I'll leave that there.
Okay.
But yeah,
Fair.
and this was actually I know Tom Holland was talking about how this felt like the ending to this version in Spider-Man, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, I agree as far as a good closure to this particular trilogy, right? Right, exactly. It was
This
closed,
arc.
and yes, him saying down the road things may be different. I get it. I understand what he was saying. And that it closed
Okay.
off really well. It put a nice bow on this trilogy or whatever you want to call it. It's like I'm
Nice.
kind of curious.
Right.
Okay, where do they go from here? And it's not what I expected
Right.
based on what the movie we thought we had our own expectations about what we're gonna see, and we kind of he hinted
Right.
at that with the question you asked me off air. That okay, did it come to fruition? I'm like, okay, so what does this mean? So yeah, but listen, you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna walk out you like super excited. I think you might come in and say, if you say a 10, I'll be surprised. Only because a 10, that's look at perfection. This is not perfection. It's just
Yeah.
not. But 9.5 for you, I don't think it's out of the question. I think you really, really gonna enjoy it, dude. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's a movie I think it bears watching at least twice. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. Because
Okay.
I told you I have to see it because I missed a couple lines.
Right.
That probably weren't big lines, but the people were cheering. I couldn't hear. Shut up.
Oh, look
Oh
at
my
your first
god!
world nerd
Everybody's like,
I couldn't hear the
oh my
line
god!
from the
Spidey,
cheer
shut
of
the
the
fuck up in the damn
fans.
theater. Cheer at home, man. Cheer at home. Like a decent human being. Let the rest of us be. Let me watch the.
You're broken inside.
It is
I
what
want
it
you
is,
to know
right?
that. You're broken inside. And it's coming from somebody who's
Damn, what
broken
did he say?
inside.
You see how you
You're
shut
broken
the
inside.
fuck up? But listen, it was a fun crowd. It's such a great weekend to watch it. So if you end up getting tickets, good for you. I know
Right.
Eric, you can't watch it this weekend, but because obviously, like with Endgame, right? The first weekend, it was like the hype and everyone's cheering and at the right spots. That's cool. It's a lot of fun. Just a minor complaint because sometimes I say, did they say? Nah, whatever. Fuck. It is what it is. I'm sure it was not important. It really wasn't a big deal. But yeah, so you're gonna enjoy it. I can't wait to really deep dive into this and
Get
say, hey,
into
what
it.
about this? Because this movie there's so much here. There's a lot to unpack, and it's damn people watch it already. Damn, Eric. Just kidding, man. We'll talk about it, but definitely great and a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. So, but that being
All right.
said, we'll deep dive into that later. Man, after that, everything else is a letdown, to be honest with you. But these nuggets just won't taste the same. It's like, oh, Spider-Man. Oh, by the way, we got. In other news, it's like it's like the
Hey,
OJ
listen.
trial. Now we're going to the
Listen.
guy who robbed an old lady
Listen.
down the street. It's like, all right,
Listen, there's a pandemic out there. There's crazy things happening in politics.
sure,
I need
no.
some emotion.
And
You
let
need
me
some nerd
let me get him
nuggets.
here because
So-
obviously, fine. We got this is dessert. The rest of the show is dessert. We had
Fair.
we
We had a
rarely
meal.
have a
We had
meal
a
on the
meal.
show
We started off
at the
the
beginning,
steak.
right? This is the meal.
Yeah, usually
It's not soup and salad, right? It's just the meal. It's the meal, Jerry.
Right.
So that being said, so
this is we have to put out when it's over. That's the kind of meal we're getting. It is.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I'm like
put
sitting
up.
back,
That is.
doing
This
the
is.
Al
Thank you
Bundy,
for your
running my
service.
hand down the pants, like okay. Oh, there's more food. Oh shit. Okay, all right, I can make a little room here. Got my stretchy pants on.
Come on.
So anyway, so the trailer park. A lot of a lot of events happened in the trailer park this week. First one, and this was a surprise. I didn't expect us to see it, and I'm super excited about this because I know you, Eric, person. We have a history with this property, and that's Halo, which is premiering next year on Paramount Plus. I don't have Paramount Plus, and I may have to get it just for a short period, get the little trial run, see it, and and cancel subscription. But they dropped the initial teaser trailer for it. I guess I want to say it's a teaser trailer, and I just there's one thing at the end where they had the music and I was just like, it brought so much memories of us playing Halo. Particularly, we used to work. I don't know if I can mention it, but we used to work at a.
So for just so people understand, we used to work at a GameStop, and we didn't just play Halo. We became so into this game that we would make customers wait to buy their games because we were in the middle of battles. If we didn't like a customer, we would challenge him to Halo so we could beat him, just so we could ban him from the store. We would say, if you beat us, you get to come back. But if we beat you, you're banned for life. And they're like, okay. And then like 8 defeats in a row later because we all took turns. They're like, you guys suck.
And we were literally like, we would have back then, before online really took off, we actually had the LAN connected to 2 Xboxes, and we'll play in the middle of the store.
We did 4 Xboxes with 4 TVs, 16 people playing, and we thought
people like, hey, watch out for the cable, and the customers coming in, don't trip, and we just completely ignore them because we're playing Halo. I mean, come on now, shit, it's Halo.
We're testing out the systems. That's what's going on. Shut the fuck up.
But all that being said, so Master Chief. I mean, come on. I mean, that look of Master Chief was awesome, right? It looked.
Dude,
it really
like a cutscene.
Agreed. It came right out of the game. So I'm excited. I mean, they didn't show us a lot, right? Let's be honest. It wasn't like a deep dive trailer. Right. We didn't get a whole lot of dialogue, or we know what the story probably is going to be as fan of the games. But the Master Chief looked perfect. I mean, it's like, man.
And that's
like
all you needed to do. It's sometimes for a series to work, you just need to do one thing right. And for Halo, you got to make Master Chief look like the cutscene. Yeah. If he looks like the cutscene, then we will forgive maybe bad CG or certain aliens not being exactly the way we wanted, because you got Master Chief right. And that's all you needed to do. And they did it. So I'm really excited. Much like you, I might need to get Paramount Plus, because that looks like if I could get a 30-day free trial, I'll wait until the whole series is out and then just binge that. And see how good because I cannot.
I'm about to watch this, and I hope it. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna read up on as far as who's behind that. Figure out who the showrunner is and writer and stuff like that, because that does obviously make a difference. But at least from a production standpoint, some of the scenes, I'm looking at here, they look great in terms of, some of the scale of it, the effects. So I'm excited, man. The production looks very top notch on this.
There was a rumor when Halo 3 came out that what's his name? Director of the Lord of the Rings movies, Peter Jackson was going to produce a Halo series, and we got really close to that for the first time, and it was such a bummer, because if you guys remember the Halo 3 commercials, they were live action Halo, and everyone was going, this is basically like the beta test for what the show could look like, and it would have been amazing. I'm surprised it's taken this long.
It's trying to get off the ground. Neil Blomkamp was also attached to this for a while, and I'm kind of glad he didn't, based on what he did after District 9. But I mean, it's been tossed around. Look, it's finally getting made. For us, it's not too little too late. For people who aren't familiar with Halo, it might be too little too late. And I know Halo's still a popular game. Just the new one just came out right for the Xbox, so I'm.
And it's apparently having great reviews.
It has its fan base, so I'm sure people are going to watch it. But I'm excited, man. It looks great. At least the production-wise, it looks fantastic. And if that looked like shit, then it's pointless. I mean, you got to make it look good. you can't skim these days in terms of that.
I hope they get the original Master Chief voice actor to come back. Kind of like Kevin Conroy does Batman. Like you gotta get that dude. Like
well, I mean, I hope they do that. It's fine. I mean, I don't need it to be, but it'd be cool just from a nostalgia standpoint. Oh man, that's awesome, right? Hit the voice and the rocket launcher. Come on, man. Awesome. If the rocket launcher comes out, I'm gonna shit in my pants. I swear to God. Damn. I hit it on pause for a
dude. I'm trying to watch the show.
But it looks great. Another one that came on. This was kind of a surprise because this one I heard after I seen it that I guess this was leaked, so they were forced to put it out there, right? They weren't ready to show it or whatever, talk about the game. But it's a game coming out. It's a Star Wars base game. Eclipse, right? Star Wars Eclipse, the name of the game.
Yes, Star Wars Eclipse.
Which, they didn't, as far as, which happens a lot with these game trailers, they don't never show us gameplay. It's always a cinematic, shots or part of the story, whatever. But that being said, what they showed from the cinematic trailer was awesome.
I mean, it looked beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic. And
not only did it look beautiful, but like the tone and the pacing. Like I was telling you a little bit off air before we got into this. At first, I didn't know this was a video game trailer, and I thought, "Oh man, are they doing a prequel to the prequel trilogy?" Like that's what I thought. And when I was watching, I was like, "Man, they should have made the prequel trilogy feel like this. This looks really interesting." And it made me think about how in the prequel trilogy, that first trailer for Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, made The Phantom Menace feel like something completely different than what we got.
Never trust those trailers. Tricky bastards.
So I'm a little bit... Maybe this game plays like this trailer, and then when you put the game on, it's like Mario. And you're like, this is not what I signed up for.
But listen, we got Jedi Fallen Order, which is fantastic. So I'm hoping they can follow suit. I'm not the same makers, but hey, there's it's a great Star Wars game to be made here, right? And this takes place. This is all about Old Republic, if I'm not mistaken.
The High Republic.
I'm sorry, not Old Republic. So it takes.
It's like 100 years before the Phantom Menace. Right. It's like the last golden age before things start going down.
Exactly. So yeah, you agreed. So this is. I hope this is good. I'm not gonna give Kathleen Kennedy credit because it's a game. So just but conversely, if it's bad, I'm not gonna shit on her. She made a terrible game. But listen. Star Wars always needs a win, and I love Jedi Fallen Order. I can't wait for the next one, and I just hope that we need more than just that. It's too good a property only to have one really good game, right? Because I can't imagine. There's been some decent games. Battlefront was okay, but nothing great. Like a Star Wars game. I take it back. It's getting remade recent.
That's
Thank you. Yes, that one. Yeah, that was a great Star Wars game. I take it back.
That was, but from Knights of the Republic, we didn't have anything as compelling or as immersive until Jedi Fallen Order. Everything else was just okay.
That was a good 15 years, maybe more, probably generous age myself, but it was a long time between that. It deserves more than just one game, maybe 10 years, right, to be good. So
every decade and a half.
So but yes, let's see. Like I said, I want to see gameplay. It's all about gameplay. They can show cinematics is great. I love it, but let's not kid ourselves. We play the game. We play, not watch the game. So but yeah, it looked great. So I'm looking forward to that one. This next one here, I know this was a warm place in your heart. And that is, of course, Sonic 2. With the Tails and sequel, Knuckles coming back, for those familiar with the game.
The sequel to the greatest video game movie ever made. Sonic 2.
Whatever, I guess. I mean...
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I have to be thinking about that. I mean, it's not. It was better than it should have been, right? It's enjoyable. It's not a great film. Let's not kid ourselves.
It is the most successful video game movie ever. Name another video game movie that has a sequel.
Well, no way. Whoa.
A-list talent.
Well, there's been a lot of the shitty sequels, but there's been sequels in Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about
with A-list talent. Because Mortal Kombat doesn't count because they couldn't even keep Christopher Lambert as Raiden. So it doesn't
He knew better. He's like, I'm out of this shit. Dude, I'm the Highlander in this crap.
That's what I'm saying. This is a sequel with better, like they got more talent, not lesser talent. They kept the talent they have and they added more
Jim Carrey
talent.
was vintage in this movie, right? Because he had been in obscurity for a while, right? And this kind of like,
and he came back like
he did. I liked him. I said, this is why. Look, it's an enjoyable film. It's not a great film, but yeah, is it the?
Oh no, it's not.
But it's good. It's good. It's fun.
It's not Winter Soldier. It's
not
obviously,
but it's fun.
But it's a fun.
It's fun.
Movie.
It's entertaining, and it had no business being that way, right? Because it's Sonic #1, and it's a video game movie.
The single greatest James Marsden co-starring to a CG character movie ever. Because he's done like 5 of them.
Which is the one he's done?
The best one.
What is it?
Yeah, he did the Peter Rabbit one. Remember?
Oh,
He did the not the Peter Rabbit, the Easter Rabbit. He did the Easter Rabbit
Jesus,
one.
You're killing
He
me.
did he did one with the I think he did another. No, there was another guy that did a rabbit, the Peter Rabbit movie. But he did the Easter Bunny one. He did one where it was like a CGA baby or something. Like it's like he's in a lot. I gotta look this up. The IMDb of the James Marsden co-starring to CGI characters, because he's done enough where this is the most successful.
That's definitely a fair statement. But as far as the games, it was cool to see Tails, right? And that was from part 2 and 4. Knuckles was
Idris
there.
Elba
cool.
is
yeah,
Tails.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Insane.
That's really cool. Knuckles, which looked cool. I think it's part 4 or 3. I don't remember.
Oh, that's Knuckles. Yeah, Knuckles.
But it looked cool. It looked fun. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'll watch it. You know, if it sucks, it is what it is. Jim Carrey is doing what he does. Good for him. He's eating, acting. We shall be glad. But yeah, so that looks cool. It looks fun. If you guys haven't seen Sonic, I recommend listen. It's cool. You know, and you have to really watch the game to really get into it.
If you're lucky enough, somebody out there, because the internet is awesome, took the poster for Sonic 2 that they have, and they replaced Sonic's face and Knuckles' face with the original version of Sonic with the teeth.
No way. Oh my god.
And it looks horrible. It looks like a nightmare come to life. I was like, I gotta send it to you when I find it next time. I was like, it's great because it's like, oh man, it could have been the worst Super Game movie ever, but they wised up and fixed it at the very end, and now it's the greatest.
And that being said, let's go to the second dessert, right? And that is, of course, Hawkeye episode 5. Episode 5, the second to last episode. And let's just get the elephant out of the room, right? Let's deal with this first.
Let's talk about it.
You know, the director was talking about. There was an article about how this was going to break the internet and break Twitter, and the director doubled down on that, saying yes, right, this is going to break Twitter. We all know what we was talking about. We kind of had an idea of what was going to happen, and fine, they revealed, you know, Vincent D'Onofrio's version of Kingpin. I have a picture of it here. However, really, this is how you reveal over the phone. It just that does not break the internet. I mean, if you were just come out with one line or something. I don't care. Just
all you needed to do. I've seen the episode twice because I really wanted to process my feelings on this. Much like how you feel about the Spiderman movie, you got to watch it a second time. I watched it twice. And as cool as it was to watch Kingpin in a photo, I will say the better way to have introduced him would be maybe the tracksuit mafia is in their warehouse licking their wounds once again from getting their ass whooped by Hawkeye single-handedly, and that's when the opposite perspective of where they're at, the doors open and like 4 suited guys walk in, and in between in the center of them is one dude. So everyone knows the guy in the center is clearly the boss. And he walks up to the guy, the old dude who's like the senior member of the tracksuits. And as he's apologizing to him, all you see is this freaking hand just go around his neck and start crushing. And he starts to hit the hand track, and he just can't. And he says, "You failed me." And he's like, "I'm sorry," and it doesn't stop until he dies. And then the neck cracks, and he drops, and then the camera flips around, and you see Vincent D'Onofrio, and he goes, "This is the last time that happens." Yeah. Boom. Like, that's it. That's the Kingpin. Like, you gotta let everybody know this is who you're dealing with. It's as close you're gonna get to having him slam some dude's head like a watermelon through a car door. You can't do that on Disney Plus. Yeah. So you do that instead, and you own that moment.
I don't understand why this is. I would have taken just even that same scene on the phone, but just live, right? She's talking to someone at the desk. You don't see who it is, and they pan over, and he's talking to Kingpin at the end. Fine. I would have taken that. I would have taken even that. But this is the. Because I got a feeling, I don't know if we're going to get more of him this season. So why even bother doing this?
I heard.
Maybe he is.
The rumors I heard he's in episode 5 and
well,
6.
I know that a poster of him was on a selfie he takes with Kate Bishop. When he's young.
It's a mugshot.
I know, right? She's looking through the internet. Oh, this is him. Yeah, and I let's see. Because it was a weird way to review. I don't know. Just come because we all knew he's gonna be in it. It's not a surprise. They already teased it, episode 1 or 2, whatever. I think it was 2.
They would brought it from
Yeah,
2
we
on.
knew at that point. Okay, who we're looking at, right? We knew who it was. It's not a surprise. You're not shocking the world by, oh my god, look, confirming what we've already known. Show it to us, right? And I think this for Marvel. I don't know what Marvel's got to know. We're smarter than this, right? The leaks get out all the time. It happens all the time, and the ones who care about where you're watching the show already know who's D'Onofrio got in it. We know what's happening. We know it's him and the little tease. The fuck, just dicking around. We know. Don't try to surprise us because you're not. Just come with it. Give us, treat us with some respect. Like the fans are gonna know what's up. Let's just show them fucking Kingpin. Show them.
I will say this. I have to disagree with you only because of your early review of Spider-Man: No Way Home, where you said that the crowds were cheering whenever these big reveals are happening. But if they were as well versed as we think they are, they wouldn't be cheering because they wouldn't be surprised. Which means there's got to be a large contingent of people who are still like, "Oh wow!" for the first time. I agree with you,
but the deep hardcore fans, when you say Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, Netflix, they know what you're talking about. The casual fan, they know who the fuck it is. They can show you. They could have shown exactly the scene you'd have been. They're like, "Oh, who's that guy?" They wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
So the only ones who really care with a cheer are the ones you're catering to. So you might as well just show it because it's different when let's assume we have Daredevil showing up, right? Whatever. Charlie Cox shows up in something.
Sure.
Maybe he shows up in the She-Hulk, for example, right? And no people know who it is. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal to us, the hardcore fans. Even my girlfriend, I show her, hey, look, he's gonna be in. I show her a picture. Who's that? And she loved Netflix with me. She had no fuck. She didn't remember that guy. She's like, wow. Oh, that guy. Okay. Oh, cool. She would have seemed like, oh, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't have been it's only a big deal to us. So the ones who would have cheered. Well, the ones that we already know. We already know. It's different, or it's assumed if Tony Stark comes back, right? That's different. Everybody knows Tony Stark, right? That is Kingpin's just a small-term guy who we know from the Netflix show, Vincent D'Onofrio Virgin. So just give it whatever. So they toy around with that. It's a waste of time.
I'll put this out here too. For anyone who is you watch us just to be informed because you want to know who they are and what they do. If you don't know the Kingpin, watch season 1 and season 3 of Daredevil. I mean, those are the 2 best seasons you refer to get the Kingpin story. And if you want to read anything, you can read Daredevil's Born Again, where the Kingpin discovers Matt Murdock's Daredevil's secret identity and then systematically breaks his life apart. And there's a new storyline in Daredevil right now. It's a miniseries, 6 issues. The first issue is just out. It's called Devil's Reign. And in this point in the Marvel Universe, Kingpin has become the mayor of New York City. And he's basically passed his version of the Superhero Registration Act that Civil War is based off of. He passed his version of that law in New York City to completely outlaw superheroes. And he deputized all the supervillains because they've registered with the city to be superheroes. So he's made it legal for supervillains to hunt superheroes. And it's a really... And this is only step 1 of Kingpin's master plan. So if you want to see what Kingpin is doing now, read Daredevil's Devil's Reign miniseries. If you want to see another great storyline, you can read Born Again from Daredevil. Frank Miller did that. Or watch season 1 and season 2 of Daredevil on Netflix to get the Kingpin stories, and you will be totally caught up to appreciate what he's doing.
And D'Onofrio is awesome as Kingpin. He's perfectly cast. Yeah, it really is.
So good.
I don't know if we're going to get that version of him or a version of him. I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you, in terms of are they going to... It's going to be some changes,
80%. It's going to be 80% Netflix and then 20%
perhaps,
Disney
they're going to have to tone it, whatever it is. But that being said, listen, fine, I trust D'Onofrio, I trust Marvel. He's such a good character. I think he'll be the big baddie in this TV series, the ground level guys, whether it be Falcon,
sure,
like Moon Knight, Echo, and maybe She-Hulk, maybe, I don't know, stuff like that. I think he's gonna have a huge presence. He needs to. Kevin Feige said if they do, Daredevil will be Charlie Cox, whatever. If they maybe do another Daredevil series, that would be phenomenal, right? Let's see. Although I'd rather see Daredevil with somebody else and somebody else to show it first. just at first to kind of help us
I mean,
wash away what we've seen Daredevil before, because I can talk to us hard to we're going to compare that series to that series, right, to a Netflix series.
Rumor wise, that's what they said. Echo's going to be. Echo's going to be basically the soft intro of Daredevil back into the Marvel universe and Marvel Cinematic.
I think that would be the best way to do it, because I don't want to. Not necessarily Daredevil show could be good, but it could be good. But
to help people prepare for the new version, so it's not such a big.
The last thing you want to do is, it's good, but it's not. They don't want to say the shit's not as good as Netflix, right? This will kind of bridge a little bit of that gap, put some distance between both to a certain degree. Well, I'm sure we're still going to compare it because that's what we do. We're going to say it's not as good as Netflix, but I don't expect it to be as good as Netflix because that shit was good. I mean, it just was, and it can be as dark, which is what I loved about it. It's the dark nature of it was awesome, and. We know they're not doing that. That's guaranteed. They're not going that heavy, that dark.
Not until they do an adult version of Disney Plus, and then you could do a dark.
And that going to get a little bit watered down, which is fine. It can still be fun, but that character lends itself to be better, and Kingpin to be a much darker toned show than what we've gotten thus far from the MCU. I think that's fair to say. But that being said, let's focus back on the episode, because it was a decent episode. I didn't hate it. It was. Cool intro, gave us a little backstory on Yelena, what happened with her, and
I like that.
Her when she blipped was cool, and then she came back instantly. We're like, and first time like, well,
that was a fun effect. Like you never really saw it from that angle.
We never seen it before.
Or anyone who blipped in and out, it just
was
like
very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, and at first I'm like, well, and it hit me. I just kind of forgot about it. Like, the blip, of course, I forgot she disappeared or whatever. So that was a cool little intro to her and all that. So I like that. There was a cool fight scene towards the end, which is fine with Echo. I mean, like Echo's being underutilized here. It's kind of unfortunate. She almost got pushed to the side. Where I think when she started off, we got some good backstory, and I thought she was gonna have a more lead role in this.
I think they're slow rolling her because she has her own series.
I know,
but
that's the point. Is like I wish they would have given more of her, because she was really interesting. What we saw now she's just someone on Hellbent Revenge. Okay, she's just a side character. I don't know. It's just whatever. It is what it is. I know they got lost, and that's what I'm saying. The show spends a lot of time just setting shit up. I just want to get a show that's dedicated to the show. We're setting up Yelena, we're setting up Kate Bishop, we're setting up Echo, we're setting up a pictured Kingpin.
Well, I think they did that because a lot of people came with it. Hawkeye, I feel like it's a bum rap where people treat Hawkeye like people used to treat Aquaman. Like, he's just in the water.
He shoots arrows.
A dude with a bow and arrow, really? And so... if they were allowed to do a little bit darker, they could be more in line with the way the Hawkeye series was, which was still funny and light, but it had some adult circumstances, and there was heft and weight to what was going on, and this movie flirts with those darker tones, like when Clint, like in episode 4. He's going to sleep and he turns off his hearing aid and he's just filled with PTSD visions of what he's done. Which is cool. That is, and the show could have been more of that, but then it would have been too dark. So they have to find that sort of happy medium.
Right. It's a service to the character. The show, because we want to see a good Hawkeye. We know what Hawkeye is capable of doing. We don't really get that, and I still like it. He's still great. I love Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. Don't get me wrong.
Look, there's a scene in the Ultimates Volume 2 where Hawkeye is strapped to a chair, and they're getting ready to operate on him. And there's all these scientists with syringes and scalpels, and they're gonna torture him. And then slowly, one by one, they all start dropping to the ground, and one scientist is left. And it's like, what the fuck's going on? And the security guards looking like, what's shooting them? What's going on? Move the cameras around. Move the cameras. It's Hawkeye. And he's got bloody fingertips because he's flicked his nails off his fingers and killed everyone by hitting their arteries and just made them bleed out. I was like, holy crap, cool. This is amazing. Yeah. You're never going to get that.
No, Hawkeye would have been great on Netflix.
Oh my God, right? Netflix, it would have been
great. So, but I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, it show's fine. It's just, it's funny because we talked about how there's 2 episodes left. Well, now it's 1 left. And we talked last week, there was 2 left. And there was a lot to kind of wrap up. And that still holds the case. We got 1 episode left, and there's a lot to do there.
I feel like they're getting really close to wrapping up because they build everything together now. So now everything's in a circle. It was like this, and then now it's this, and then this episode 6 is tied up.
Yelena hasn't resolved yet. We haven't. The thing with Jack,
she's on course.
I mean, it's on course too, but is it going? We don't know. I mean, it is, but I mean, you got to dedicate time to that, which means less time for Kingpin if and when he shows up. We got the whole thing with Jack. That's not over yet. He got arrested, and he's like, "Oh yeah," I love his attitude, by the way. Oh yeah, well, I would have done the same thing. You dumb bitch, I'm gonna kill you. But but that was really cool. But they got to wrap that up. Now her relationship with Kingpin. What's that about? They got to wrap that up. Hawkeye is. There's a lot there to unpack, and again, not that it can't be done, but that's a lot to do in a 40-minute episode, right? And give everything that's proper due, right? Doom Patrol suffered from that in the season ending, right? So that's my concern. It's like, man, it's one left. It went so fast. But one left. I mean, maybe they can, but I mean, I hate things to not get. Like, I think Echo's gonna get the short of the stick, which is fine.
Probably only because she's got more series to pick up slack. So when you know that you're not going to be left hanging because
I don't think they'll leave anything hanging. I just know they're going to wrap up things a little too quickly and too nicely in a bow in 40 minutes.
I honestly think that the two things they're going to wrap up quickly is going to be Echo and Yelena. They're going to wrap up those real quickly because Echo obviously got her own series. There's rumors that Yelena's going to be the new Black Widow and whatever the next Marvel team is. So exactly. So you don't have to. You just have to make sure that her next step makes sense to end up in that other movie. So you could do that, and then you just focus on Kate and her mom and the Kingpin. You do that, and you could do that in 25 minutes, and so have 15 minutes.
I don't want to see her. Look, this is a Miss Mean Kingpin at the beach, and I don't want to see any more photos. I'm live physical shot of.
You have an Instagram feed with you and
Kingpin's on live now. Hold on IG, and I put a little heart. I mean, I don't want to see it. I swear to God, they might not do some nonsense. Or even, see, at this point, I don't even want to see him at end credit. Put him in the fucking episode. Right? If he's at end credit, that's kind of disappointing. Because now the cat's out of the bag. Right?
I'd like to see him. Give me between 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the episode. Like, I need to see him in the series.
Yeah, I want to see the end credit with him, like a scene like you did at the end. I don't want to see that. That was your way to intro. Now you lost that chance.
Exactly.
Now you gotta give up the goods, right? You just can't. It's like, I got a secret. What is it? I can't tell you. No, dude, you can't do it to somebody. You can't. So I hope they treat that with respect. I mean, I don't want. I'm sure he's going to be an Echo. Obviously, he is. I would suspect that anyway, particularly if it's true. Charlie Cox shows up.
This is not going to end up with we've caught the Kingpin. No. That's
no. We know that's not right. That's not going to happen. Right. If anything, I got a feeling they may frame the Dan. God, what's his name? Just mention his name. Jack. Is it Jack? Jack. I'm not trying him as the Kingpin. Whatever. I don't know. He's the Kingpin. Put a swerve on it. Whatever. But
sure.
It's fine. I mean, the show's going to hinge on the last episode for me. If it ends well, okay.
I've been enjoying the show. I will say I thought episode 1 and 2 should have been put together as one episode.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought that both of them were like 20 minutes too long, and they would have been. Episode 3 is when the show hit their stride in terms of being
agreed.
that perfect combination of comedy and action. I thought episode 4 was a great character reveal of how Hawkeye really thinks of himself. Instead of just being implied, he literally just put it on Front Street, I'm a weapon. I've done horrible things. And then him being pulled to go that far again and still holding back. When he was dressed as Ronin, he could have killed Echo.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But he's
clearly.
And he's this has to stop. I can't go back to that anymore.
Of course, he's a new man. He's trying to turn the page at the end of the day, which I get.
But seeing him go far, thinking he can, and then still push himself back was really compelling and interesting as a character. I really like that. So to me, 3, 4, and 5 have been really solid. If I didn't have the anticipation of the Kingpin, I would have thought that this was a really just as great as episode 3, because I think it was a really solid dynamic of character work and action, obviously. So there's a lot of great stuff going on. But if you're going to bring this Kingpin in, and obviously because we all want it, because there's so much potential for future stuff, then don't shortchange us on not only the resolution and all these villains and everything, but don't shortchange us on Hawkeye too.
Right. That's the other concern. Yeah, another concern. Right.
Yeah, I still want to see a great Clint Barton story. I still want to see a great Kate Bishop story. They're great characters. They're really so. Stick that landing, and I will forgive shortchanging villains, because at the end of the day, I came for Hawkeye.
Right.
I'll get excited for Echo and for Yelena and for Kingpin, but I came for Hawkeye. So don't forget.
He's got to be the star of the next one. Yeah, it can't be Kate Bishop. It has to be Hawkeye. ultimate at the end of the day.
I
think
Kate Bishop is going to have
she'll have
her
a moment.
moment in the
She'll have a
sun.
moment.
But you got listen.
This
This
yeah,
is the
this
last
is his
episode.
world.
This is Die Hard. This is Die Hard. This is John McClane. You got a John McClane.
Yeah, we don't want to see
That's what you got to do.
the Family Matters dad taking care of business. This is about he had his moment.
Yeah.
That's great. John McClane steps up.
There's
EPK,
I'm really hoping that bottle trick that he taught. Kate
that's
Bishop,
gonna come. Come on.
I know it's probably gonna be Kate that does it, but I kind of wish it was.
I don't want
Kate
to do it because she's not that good yet.
I think Kate's gonna do it, or be able to flick something towards him so he could do something else.
Yeah,
so
I don't want her to do it.
Don't
Jon Snow is with the Arya Stark killing the Night King. You know, that's what that's exactly what we're talking about. You know, everything's built up for Jon Snow.
I know.
Don't do that. That's all I'm saying. Let the Hawkeye get his due, because this. I don't know if this is the last time we'll see him, but this might be the last big thing he's going to be in, I think.
If you, by the way, if you want to see how Jon Snow should have killed the Night King, read my Game of Thrones fan fiction. That could be under my pillow full of tears.
Okay. Man, they
I have a lot of it. That's a lot.
But that being said, so it is what it is. Those are the nuggets for the meals. The 2 desserts. Maybe some fries in there
and a juicy steak.
Juicy steak in the beginning, man. We went backwards here. What the hell, That's what we do.
Oh wait, we forgot one last thing. Black Panther 2 news.
There was. I keep forgetting about that. Off memory.
We'll make it real fast.
Letitia
Wright doesn't want to be Black Panther. Put up a real big fight with Marvel. She doesn't want to get vaccinated, so it's a whole problem. And now there's a rumor that because she doesn't want to be Black Panther, she's only going to be Black Panther for the upcoming movie. And another rumor I just heard, you tell me if you heard about this or not. Who's the guy who played M'Baku?
Oh man,
he was.
I know. I know. I don't know his name, but I know who he is. But yeah, the big guy. Yeah, he
becomes the new Black Panther by the end of Black Panther.
That's
2.
what I had. Those are the 2. We talked about this months ago, but early in the year, that's what insight that I got was they were still debating whether it was going to be her or him at the end of Black Panther.
Apparently, it's been decided because of all the problems she's doing.
I mean, and a lot of it still kind of was not said. She hasn't quit yet. And those rumors that she's leaving. I mean, there's all a lot of rumors. No one's come out and said anything concretely. It has not been reported that she left or, she's refusing she made comments about the vaccination or whatever, and that's fine. But I think she had a head injury initially. And it was a head injury. That was legit. It was worse than what it was. Because no one knows. But they're using that as cover for her not to be able to come back, but she's still hurt, as opposed to being
get vaccinated, and
she can't come back exactly because she's not vaccinated. So that's what the story. I mean, whether it's true or not, I don't know. So I'm not sure this is legit.
I mean, the movie got delayed 6 months, so they have some wiggle room to try to fix it.
Right, exactly. So I mean, it's for me, whatever. I don't care. I mean, I don't mind her. I just didn't like. I didn't want to be Black Panther. I don't think she had earned that yet. So I wasn't a fan of that idea. So I'm kind of glad that this is the case. This is true. Fine by me. I think it's a better way to go with taking this other guy or someone else's Black Panther for that matter. They should have just recast the guy for Christ's sake. But whatever.
They should have recast T'Challa. As much as I love Chadwick Boseman, they should have recast T'Challa, or they should have brought back Michael B. Jordan as the variant T'Challa from another dimension.
And it's funny because I think Chadwick Boseman's brother came out recently, and he was saying that Chadwick Boseman would have wanted him to be recast. Whether he had a conversation before he died, I don't know. But yeah, hello, that's the way they should have gone from the get-go.
Yeah. So I know.
I mean,
listen, don't not take anything from Chadwick. The dude was amazing. He was amazing. There's no one's denying the talent and what he brought to the table. But Black Panther is sort of like Spiderman. He's a bigger idea for a bigger people,
exactly.
A bigger group of people.
Changing an actor is jarring at first, but it's not the end of the world. You still maintain the character of T'Challa, right? You don't know who the actor is. It's the character. So now you're giving it to someone brand new who doesn't have the same sensibilities, characteristics that the Black Panther we love, right? So it changes that dynamic, and whether it affects the movie, maybe, I don't know, we'll yet to be seen. But I just should just recast him. At the end of the day, I don't know why they went that direction. I get it. I in some respects, but I don't think it would have been egregious. It would have been. No one's gonna say. I don't think anybody would have come out and said that. I really don't. I mean, the majority have been like, okay, I get it. What are you gonna do? He died. Okay,
I think the only reason I'm still confident about this movie is just because Feige and Ryan are so good at what they do that they can figure a way
it's gonna
around
be
this.
fine. Yeah, it's gonna be
So
fine. Yeah.
that's why I'm not like, oh, this movie sounds bad
No.
now. But
Never say that, and that it could still be great. It just
right.
they could have gone a much simpler direction, right? And spend time building that because it's like starting over almost, right? Get a new character, establishing it. Okay, it's almost like another origin to some degree. I know it's not, but still, you gotta spend time in the movie developing someone new for us to like at the end of the day, right? And that takes time from the movie. So, but you're right, Coogler's great. So fine, I have confidence he'll do fine. But again, if Letitia Wright's not gonna be in it, I feel a little bit better about it, to be honest with you. They can recast her or whatever, but just not make whoever they recast as the new Black Panther.
I love the fact that they wanted her. They had big plans for her. And she's like, I'm good.
Yeah, I know, right? So I mean, I listen. To each their own. I'm not going to shame you.
Some people just don't like
people
money.
Make your decisions, right? Make your decisions and whatever. Fine, whatever. You don't get vaccinated, don't get fine. Whatever. Whether you agree with it or not, it's their decision. Whatever. Do what you got to do. Live your life.
So really, what this show was a dinner, 2 desserts, and then a shot of bourbon. Just like
perhaps a little half smoked cigar, like okay, that's enough. If your wife tells you,
I think so.
Oh, sorry, honey. Yeah, damn it.
But that has been the show, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in, as always, to Nerdsplaining. My name is Eric Da Silva. This is Jose Romero. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments below. We love hearing from you. Give us suggestions, your opinions, what we should talk about. Let us know what you agreed, disagreed, all that stuff. And don't forget, like and subscribe because YouTube algorithms, things like that. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can check out so many more shows besides Nerdsplaining on the Latin Nerd News channel. We have shows like The Watch List. We have shows like Thanos Choice, which I believe we're recording a new episode this Saturday, right?
Christmas Spectacular. We're doing a little Christmas movie tournament, so to speak, version of this. So I'm very excited about that.
A mini Sweet 16, very condensed version of that.
Yeah, so it's Christmas time, tis season. Let's be part of that. What not, right?
Let's murder stuff.
Why not?
Cool. Sounds good. And of course, don't forget, if you enjoyed Nerdsplaining, you can watch all our episodes here on YouTube at Nerd News, the Latin Nerd News. You can also check out all the original audio episodes on ericdasilva.com. And while you're there, don't forget, for Christmas, you can buy my album, Adorably Offensive, a great gift for people that you like, an even better gift to people that you hate. So it's only $10, super affordable. I really appreciate all you can do for that. And guys, that has been the show. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I keep saying it because we need to. And don't forget to watch, I needed someone to tell you, Spider-Man No Way Home. Let us know what you thought about that movie. No spoilers, just good or bad or specific line quotes you want to do. All that would be fantastic. And that's it, guys. My name is Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Peace.